Oh,
Yeah, we're live, but the referees aren't going to be alive. Yeah, that's right. I said it. That's a threat. I'm sick and tired of these bullshit refs week in, week out, every single game fucking up the base. No BDL for them, man. Yeah, because at the
yeah,
end of the day, yeah, there's a reason why these British refs don't get called for any major tournament.
that's right.
There's there's a reason why. And they're proving it every single game. It's not even just my game. It's a coincidence that shortly after my game, the game on a Sunday, there was a VAR decision again. Again. What is going on with these refs? Why don't they just go back and redo their license or even get stripped? Bring the foreign man them down here. I'm sick and tired of it, bro. I'm sick and tired of it. And them two, Darren England and Simon Hooper, I hope you catch AIDS. Yeah, I said it. I said it.
Damn.
I don't care if this video gets pulled. I don't care, fam. I hope you man get AIDS. That's all I gotta say. Because I'm gonna continue on when I'm talking about my game, which is gonna be soon, innit? So Margie, you say what you gotta say, and I'm gonna continue. 'Cause I'm sick and tired of this bullshit. Screwing my team all the goddamn time. Fassies.
Wow, wow, wow. You didn't even intro. Man just went straight in. Um, yeah, it's been a good weekend for my team. Well, good week. Back to back wins. We shot on the Seagulls, and then we told Fulham what time it was. There's only one team in Fulham. Blue woo. But we back. Anyway, no. But yeah, two good wins in a row. But yeah, in terms of refs, we got a lot to talk about. A lot of controversy. A lot of games where refs are doing the wrong thing. But you know what? On a lighter moment, Luke, I need to ask you a question. In a match, when you're playing 11v11 and you get a penalty, how many penalty takers do you have?
Well, there should be the main penalty taker, really. If I talk about Liverpool, then the main penalty taker is Salah. If Salah's off his game, then I can only assume that Slobosly would be the second person. But normally it should be the main person, only one person taking a pen, really and truly, unless that person's off form, then there should be a second, a backup. But it's only one person taking it.
Exactly. And that main person for Arsenal is a guy from Norway, Code Odegaard. And he scored the first penalty. But then
Yeah.
apparently they got a second penalty. Well, lucky them. Refs giving them the fruits of labor, giving them a second penalty. But did Odegaard take the second penalty, Luke?
Nope, because Gabriel Jesus tried to step up and take it.
But what happened?
Man like Martin Odegaard said, nah, Jesus, nah. You don't need this. We need the Make a Wish Foundation stepping in right now. If you wanna pay £5 a month to help this organization of Havertz bottling every single game, then pay right now to 0800 Arsenal soft and Havertz can't score for shit. That's what happened, fam. Havertz got given a ball, and you know what's even more funny, Margie?
Yeah?
You know what's funny?
What?
They thought, yeah, that they could give this guy the ball to score the pen to build his confidence. Little do they know that it doesn't matter because he's still gonna play midfield next game and suck and not score in that game either. So what was the point? What was the point in giving him the ball for the pen?
Exactly.
Please let me know.
Exactly. Exactly. I was looking through the rule set. I was looking through past instances. I, I was thinking, man, they gave him the penalty. And then fans coming outside singing a new song, talking about 60 million down the drain. Havertz scored again. He's already scored once in the league. When's the game gonna happen? When's the game gonna happen? I'll be waiting. I'll be there. uh,
Oh, Arsenal's a gift that keeps on giving, honestly.
a Havertz goal comes like an eclipse, fam. Once every 4 years.
A word, fam. That's his first goal, yeah, in an Arsenal jersey, fam. That's funny, bruv. This in the league, that is funny, fam. Like the only way that Havertz will be able to build confidence is if they play a false nine and actually start Havertz in a false nine. Then maybe he will score, but he's playing in a position that's unnatural to him, so he's not going to score anyway. Then he's off form because he's playing in a position that he which is not natural to him. Then on top of that, he doesn't get forward enough to be in a box and be a threat, because he's the expectation is for them to allow Odegaard to be the create and assist man in that team. So essentially you're nullifying his ability, you're nullifying him as a player, and he's not going to score in the next game because the next game's Man City. But then even if the game was against Nottingham Forest, you're still not going to score. So it just defeats the whole object of giving him the ball. It's like hand me downs. It just doesn't make sense. Like, yeah, you man won 4-0, fair play, congratulations, you did what you had to do. But that moment right there, that's the reason why Arsenal will always be a meme club. Always.
Always. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say at the start. I really couldn't care about their game. We're going to be talking about other more important games with big controversies, big decisions, and none bigger than your game, Luke. So I'm just gonna let you have the. You know what? I'm gonna I'm gonna do something. Um, let me see if I can do this. Yeah, there you go. There you go. I'm just gonna be the here in the corner with my popcorn.
Fam, you know what, yeah? That whole game was just laughable. Like, Tottenham had their chances, and overall the whole game was a good game. From start to finish, it was a good game, regardless of the controversy, regardless of like the stupid refereeing and all of that. It was a good game. And even when we were down to 10 men, we still should have won that game. And that is telling, even with 10 men, that Liverpool still should have won that game. And it just goes to show you that, number one, Liverpool need to use this anger from that game and start terrorizing this league, because ultimately every single team in this division is dead. 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 The fact that Liverpool can go away from home, away from home with 10 men and still put in a performance like that, that there goes to show you that we are back. And we are here and we are around. And we're going to be a problem for the rest of the league. A problem. We're doing this without a solid CDM and a solid centre back. Just let you know, without a solid CDM and a solid centre back, and with 10 men, we're bully beefing Tottenham. That's what we're doing. So just know, come the end of the season, if we don't get second, I'd be fuming. And Liverpool shouldn't show their face again. Even if we don't get first, because this team, they showed great character. Great character. Now, that's for my praise for my team. Throughout the whole game was bullshit. From the elbow to Andrew Robertson, from the Cody Gakpo injury, those two should have been cards. Then Diego Jota, that just should have been a yellow card, because Ndogi, or whatever his name is, I think it was Ndogi, but who gives a fuck? I just did an Ndogi in the toilet. That waste man tripped over his foot. Yeah. So that should have been a yellow card, that Diego Jota, not a red. Then Curtis Jones, that was harsh, because you can clearly see that from the video replay that Curtis Jones actually tried to chop the ball. He tried to control the ball, but obviously it didn't happen. And then on top of that, instead of actually doing an actual full video footage, which is what you're supposed to do on VAR, what VAR decided to do was screenshot the worst position and let the referee see it as a screenshot of his blade showing. Are you taking a piss? Then the whole fuckery of it all is Luis Diaz was onside and what? The referees was like they had a miscommunication. How can you have a miscommunication with three people? You mean to tell me that three people in the booth all had miscommunication? It's bullshit. Bullshit. Every single game that Liverpool have played this season has been bullshit from the referees. From the red card decisions on McAllister and on, I can't remember who else received the red card, but it was bullshit. It shouldn't have happened. Then people wonder why there's an agenda against Liverpool. It's not the fans saying, woe is me and whatnot. No, it's clear evident sign that the FA are corrupt and there's agenda against Liverpool. It's no coincidence that Howard Webb, the Manchester United referee, we know who he is head of the referee organization. And there's decisions that's going against Liverpool the way that it is a clear evident sign. This man needs to step down. He needs to step down because there's a clear bias on teams, clear bias, especially for Man City. How is it that these two same refs in the Liverpool match was reffing in UAE, the same place that is owned by Manchester City owners, have now come and ref the Liverpool match straight after Man City lost 2-1 to Wolves, and Liverpool have these same two refs and we lose like that. Decisions were going against us like that. If that's not bias, I don't know what is. That was a clear victory for Liverpool. Even with 11 men, we pissed all over their oatmeal. Even with 10 men, we pissed all over their oatmeal. Even with 9 men, we defended with our hearts. We should have got something out of that game. And man, them like expressions, yeah, that are celebrating, yeah, like he's won a trophy. Even with the Tottenham players celebrating, doing a victory lap around Tottenham, like they won the fucking Premier League. We're 6 games in, brother. How you celebrating like this? That's how you know Liverpool live rent free in every single team's head. Every single team's head, we're living rent free, brother. Rent free. The fact that you're celebrating, doing victory laps like that. You haven't even won the league. These men need to relax themselves. Any sort of excitement that I've had around Tottenham, you man can all fuck yourself. And I hope that Tottenham don't make top four. I hope they don't make top four. I hope that Ange gets sacked. And I hope that they continue on in the mediocrity that we know Tottenham Hotspurs to be. Bottle jobs. Bottle jobs. Because for 10-man Liverpool to still rinse you off the park like that, you know that you're dead food. It's all hype about Tottenham this season. All hype. And I hope the next game that they play, they get slapped. Justice was not justifying right there, fam. There was no justice in that game. I feel sorry for Joe Matip because since this season, he's been our best defender this season, Joe Matip has. I feel sorry for him because that was unfortunate. I don't have nothing else to say, but all I gotta say is Liverpool need to go into the next remaining games to the end of the season and take their anger out on all these teams. All these teams, especially Tottenham Hotspurs. May 4th. That's the next time we're playing them at home at Anfield, May 4th. May the 4th be with you, all of you, because you lot are going to get slapped. I know for a fact they're going to cook and they're going to brew something special for their club. And I hope we slap them 4-5-0. I hope we slap them. I have nothing else to say, but that was bullshit. That whole game was bullshit. And then on top of that last thing, Gary Neville, you are the most wank stain of wankers. Wank stain of wankers. How on earth are you gonna go on Sky Sports and defend Liverpool and say that shouldn't have happened? To then be like on your Twitter the next day saying, "Oh, it's a human error." I know for a fact Sky Sports spoke to you the minute you said what you said. I know Sky Sports producer spoke to you, and you know what you are? You're a coward because you didn't stand up for what you said. You backtracked. You backtracked. You are a coward because you're the same person that would be cussing if that happened to Manchester United. If FSG are doing what they're doing to defend the integrity of the sport, the integrity of the sport, not just for Liverpool, the integrity of the game, because these referees are ruining the integrity of the game. So there's nothing wrong in what FSG are doing. Because the same way, if the Glazers did the exact same thing, you'll be sucking them man off dry. But because it's
Oh
Liverpool
yeah.
and because you got spoken to by your producers in Sky Sports, you're saying, nah, it was a human error. Fuck your human error.
Hmm.
Fuck your human error. And you're
Damn
a
right.
waste man. Absolute waste man. Waste cadet. Dickhead. Come off my screen, man. I ain't got nothing to say, man. Fatsies.
I feel. I feel it. And all we want is for the refs, just like the picture, to be in the background. We don't want them to be in front of the show. We don't want to be talking about refs. We want to talk about a game. It was a big game. It was going to be Angible versus Rock and Roller Clopperhola. You know what I'm saying? It was a good game. It was started off as a good game up until that point. Now, I will say this. The first red was a red. It's unfortunate. It's the way the rules are. It happened to Gusto last weekend, but the rules are soft. There's nothing we can do about that one. But to clearly miss an offside that was so far off, so far on, that even Stevie Wonder could have seen that it was on. And man like this behind me aren't communicating that it was it was on side. They're talking about miscommunication. It smells fishy. It smells very Serie R early 2000s to me. Now, as for the second red, the first yellow should have never been a yellow. And one of these rules that they said they were going to implement was that when players showed a card, a fake card or dissent, that they were going to get carded again. Now, you doggy, you doggy, whoever you want to call him, did that gesture when before Jota got the card. He was on a yellow card at the time. He should have been sent off. He should have been sent off. And reality is, those two decisions made a big difference to the game. And the funny thing is, you can be shameless as a Tottenham fan, but the fact is, when it was 10 versus 11, I thought Liverpool were going to win. When it was 9 versus 11, I thought you weren't going to score. But Matip had other ideas. Unfortunate for him, last seconds, man said, "You know what? Let me give Spurs the hope they need." Because remember, when you give someone hope, that's when they get the fall. And the North London fall is better than them all. Ain't that right, Arsenal? You know about that fall. You had that fall last season. League where? League what? Yeah, that's right. Shots for Arsenal. But in terms of the game, the man, the man behind me, the referees ruined this game. VAR was meant to be implemented to make these games, to get the right decisions. That's what they're all we want. The right decisions. We don't want to talk about you guys. We don't even want to know your names. Yeah. We just want to know who's the referee of the match? I don't care. Just do your job. That's what you're paid to do. Do your job. I don't know the linesmen's names. I don't know. And as far as I'm concerned, I feel like for future references, I think VAR should be former professional footballers that understand the game. And a lot of the former professionals should be a part and involved in the rule set of the game as well. Because they understand when certain things happen, the difference between a yellow and a red card, the difference between what is a shocking tackle to what is an accident. If you look at a clip over a long period of time, such as this Curtis Jones one or the Gusto one, someone who's actually played the game would tell you, oh, that might have been given a yellow. That's not a red. Unfortunately, the way the rules are set and they're so strict that it allowed for these dumb mistakes to happen. The fact that VAR couldn't call back after the game kicked off to say, oh no, it was a goal. Dumb. The fact that it takes so long for you to make decisions and then you make the wrong ones anyway. And this is not the only game that had these decisions. Another game had these decisions that we'll be talking about if we have time. But if we don't, it's the Man City game, and that Korean guy should have been sent off. I'm just saying it here. That Korean guy, we shouldn't have seen that tweet. It should have been Korean guy, bye bye. That's all I'm saying. So, as far as I'm concerned, referees have been ruining the game since Quayback. Yeah. And the fact of the matter is, you give them more technology, they find more ways to screw up. These man couldn't see a hair pull as a foul and a red card and allowed Tottenham to score a goal against us last season. That result right there changed the course of our whole season. People don't think about these things. It's a butterfly effect. One decision, one result can change the course of a whole season. This result right here could be the difference between Liverpool getting top 4, winning the league. It's happened to the point where certain teams got relegated because of the decisions made by VAR and the referees. But thankfully it wasn't my team this week. Thank the Lord. But the reality is this: if we keep as fans being tribal and saying "ha ha Liverpool," "ha ha Arsenal," "ha ha Tottenham" every time they get a refereeing decision, it's going to keep on happening, and it's going to come to your team, and it's going to be another week, and then I'm going to look at you in the face and say, "You can't complain. You were laughing at that team for when it happened to them." Because at the end of the day, on the course of the season, there's going to be a game, there's going to be a moment where refs make another wrong decision, and they're not going to be held accountable. They're not good. They're not doing interviews. They're not putting up on the screens. It's not like if a player has a bad performance, he does an interview. If a manager has a bad week, he has to still interview. If the owner's doing a bad job, fans are going to hold him accountable. Who's holding the refs accountable? And the PGMOL, man, since VAR has been introduced, the man have been given an apology a month. Every month they got a different apology. Oh, sorry, we did this. Sorry, we did that. I'm tired of the apologies. I just want my football back. Early 2000s, rough and tough football. 4-4-2. You know what to do. Sam Allardyce football, fam. That's all I want. No, I'm going on an extra thing, but yeah, you know what I mean. That's how I feel about that game. In terms of the game, I would, if I'm a Liverpool fan, I would be angry with the rest, but happy with the way my players played, the way they showed out, and I think if the team looking better at after the game is Liverpool. For me, Tottenham look crap. For me, Tottenham coming after this doesn't look like a team that's going to go on to do anything this season. Reality, but Liverpool looked like a team that down to 10 men looked better than Tottenham. So I think it reaffirms my decision to put Liverpool top 2. And they're the only team that can dethrone Man City this season, in my opinion. Based on what I've seen in that game, based on the resilience they showed, and based on the fact that these referees have decided to give Liverpool that kind of feeling, that early 2000 Jose Mourinho us against the world feeling. That's the thing. When it comes to these teams and wanting to do something in the season, you need a why. You just gave them a why. You just gave them a why. Why are they doing this season? And now it's going to be a problem for the rest of the season. Man, I'm going to have to deal with this Liverpool. Rock and roller Liverpool coming back like Darth Vader in Empire Strikes Back. And I don't want it. Yeah. When it comes to Chelsea Liverpool, I ain't here. I'm gone. I know what's happening. We're good. Hey, prime time slappings are going to come through. You think 7-0 was bad? No, we're going to hear 10-0 at some point. And man like this behind me right there are the reason why. Anyway, I'm gonna get them off my screen. I don't know why I haven't ironed it. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about that game.
Yes. You're right, man. Accountability is there's something needs to be done, even if they just strip them off for the whole season, or something. But something needs to be done because the sorry is just not good enough. But yeah, man, let's move on to the next game. Let's not waste no time. Next game is Wolves versus Man City. Obviously, Wolves performed an upset 2-1. I don't know why Pep Guardiola keeps doing this, man. Man keeps on violating these players out here, and then these players are just, yeah, you're gonna violate me, okay, you know, um, He Wan Chang, I think that's how you say his name, but yeah, he obviously came back to bite them in the butt. It is what it is. It's just how it is. And it was a good game, man. You could clearly see that they missed Rodri very badly, and having Kovacic in that CDM role did not benefit them whatsoever. Kovacic doesn't have the legs. He lost possession so many times. He couldn't recycle the ball effectively. And when it came to being on a half turn to receive the ball and lay it off quickly, he was just off the pace so badly, and it just affected the whole dynamic of that Man City team. They didn't play well at all. They didn't kick ball well. They didn't recycle possession well. And yeah, they were able to I would say keep hold of the possession because Wolves allowed them to do that. But I feel like if Wolves actually pressed them in the middle of the park, I reckon they probably could have gotten away with a lot more goals than they actually did. Um, because the only reason why Wolves was able to do what they did was they broke well on their counter attack, and Pedro was just a nightmare for them. The fact that he was able to run from his own half and breeze past everyone to go into the box to score the own goal in the first goal was just mad what he did. And I think it couldn't have happened to a better player because I think he's actually a baller. I think he's a real good gem. He's gone under the radar in the last couple seasons just because guys like Diego Jota, Raul Jimenez was obviously, and Adama Traore was obviously the standout guys. But I think now, those men have gone. He can now step into his own and obviously be the main man for that team. And that's happening this season. You got a lot of teams that are circling around him now. So I think yeah, that the performance from Wolves was just tactically just to a T, was directly to the plan. You could tell that they practiced that on a training ground, you know, keep the shape, allow Man City to have the ball, really try and suffocate Erling Haaland, because Erling Haaland didn't get a sniff of that ball. Craig Dawson was on his arse, and even when Haaland was able to try and pull away for one chance, it went wide. It hit the side netting, and I think it was a real experienced performance by Craig Dawson and just by the rest of the team, and they just utilized the pace off of the counter attack, and both two goals were brilliant counters. It was excellent counters, to be honest. And again, if um Arsenal saw and Arteta saw the blueprint of what Wolves did, Arsenal's got decent players off in terms of pace. They got Eddie Nketiah, they got Jesus, they got Saka, they got Martinelli, they got Odegaard. You know, and I just feel like if they don't necessarily have to play defensive, Because as I said, if you get at Man City, and I've said this before, if you get at Man City, you will score goals at the end of the day. And I feel like the loss of Rodri, if Arteta's smart, he will apply that press, apply the press. Play Vieira, play Odegaard, play Declan Rice in that midfield. Have Jesus to drop deep to offer a bit more bodies in that midfield in terms of applying the press. Have Saka, have Martinelli on both wings, and just do what you do best and just press Man City, and you will score. If Arsenal don't get a result this game, because this is a game where they can. If Arsenal do not get a result from this game, then you pretty much need to count them out in terms of actually challenging for the league. Because now, more than ever, is probably the right time to play Man City when Rodri isn't there. And it just goes to show you how important CDMs are, and why I've been cramming on saying Liverpool need to sign a solid CDM, why Margie was going on saying they needed to sign a Caicedo or a Lavia for CDM, because that role is so integral to a midfield that if that isn't there, it is long. And as I said, it showed in that game. So fair play to Wolves. They need every single point that they can get, because right now they are in a relegation battle. Let's be real. Um, but let's be honest though, even if City were to lose this game, and even if City were to lose the next game against Arsenal, it's really not going to matter, because at the end of the day, they are obviously the they're the trendsetter, they're on a pedestal, they're the team to get, they're the team to beat. And I just feel like City over the years have always struggled and has always been slow, and it didn't really matter if they dropped points because they always end up winning the league anyway. So, like, yeah, the loss of Rodri is important, but if they manage to get a point, at least a point against Arsenal, until when Rodri gets back, then they'll be able to kick on from there anyway. But it was funny though. That was a one game that you actually saw a human side to Doku. You know, Doku has been ripping teams and ripping defensive since he's come in. But that was probably the one game where he was silent and didn't really impact or do anything in that game. So again, as I said, if teams want to know the blueprint and how to stop Man City, that match was the right match. And fair play to Wolves, as I said.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Obviously, as I said, a VAR decision that should have been made. Bad refereeing. I think Hang Wei Chan, before he scored the winner, he should have been sent off for a second yellow. Another thing that I think is silly about VAR is that they can't check yellow cards. They only can do if it's straight reds. That doesn't make sense to me. You're meant to assist the referee. If there's a decision to be made that could make that even like a second yellow, as far as I'm concerned, that can change a game if a player sent off for that card. But overall, I think Wolves had the right game plan for Man City. I just think they're missing creative spark in the middle, and they're missing that DM as well. I think Rodri's a big miss, but I think they don't have the De Bruyne type player as well, and it showed when Haaland had barely any touches. They weren't creating, and it's crazy to me that they let go of Cole Palmer like that after what he shown for Chelsea, because he could have been a kind of guy that could have come in at this moment to do that De Bruyne role and add a bit more creativity. And I think the biggest mistake they did was not bringing in Lucas Paqueta, regardless of what background stuff he had. I think that is the type of player they need, someone who can unlock the low blocks, unlock a team. And with De Bruyne missing and not much else there, there's not really much unlocking that they're doing at the moment. And yeah, I think they need to start using Calvin Phillips. Uh, he needs to show up or shut up, because what's the point of having a backup DM if you're not going to use him? And if he's not good enough, then bring in a backup DM. Because you're Man City, you got the money to. If you don't have players in that squad that you aren't willing to use in the right positions, then what's going to happen in the future? And I think Calvin Phillips needs to play the next couple games I think he is a player that's been underlooked. If you've seen him at his time at Leeds, he's the closest thing to you can get to at that in that squad to a Rodri. So I think they're just leading to their own downfall, which you know it's not a big deal for Man City because this is their customary loss, their early season loss. And reality is, I don't trust Arsenal to get anything against them. Um, would be would be nice just because it would be interesting to see if someone different goes for that title. But at the same time, I am anti-Arsenal to the world and back. So as far as I'm concerned, I need Man City to destroy them, and I need that 60 million down the drain song to be blurted out loud by the Man City fans at the end of the game. That's what I want. That's what will happen. And yeah, man, that's all I got to say about that.
Oh man, it's not a promise, it's a fact. Uh, we move from one Manchester to the other Manchester club who lost at home to the Theatre of Nightmares to man like Sir Roy Hodgson. Man said Roy Hodgson has beaten them 5 times at United's ground, Booker T style 5 times. 5 times, Roy Hodgson, madness. You know what? This game was just funny, absolutely funny. Every time when I watch Manchester United, I just laugh because for me, it's just the same story every single week that we always continue on saying, you know, no midfield, defense is lacking, no organization, attack is non existent, you know, but they try, they do try. But for me, and I always say this every time when I watch Manchester United, and I'm always thinking, where is the spark? Who can ignite this team? Who can at least try grab you a goal? And the one player is Ganacho. Like Ganacho for me is a live wire. He's a problem. He's proven countless of times whenever he's coming off the bench or even when he's starting, he has an eye for goal. 1v1s, he's always willing to try and beat a player. And there's not a lot of wingers out there that want to do that. Luis Diaz for Liverpool is one of them. Doku's obviously at Man City for one of them. Even Mudric lately at Chelsea, he's found his confidence and he's doing it. And Garnacho's doing it, and there's not many wingers that has the confidence to do that. And for me, when you're looking for a creative player, there's that like why are you not going for him? Why are you not starting him? And I know why don't Rashford plays on the left. He plays on the left. Okay, then why don't you revert to a 4-4-2? Have Rashford in the middle with that Hoyland you because it's clear as day that that Hoyland you has got pace and he knows how to bring players in, which is what Rashford don't know what to do. So why don't you have that big man, little man combo? Yeah, with Hoyland being a guy to hold up play, link up play, with Rashford running in behind him. And then you got Garnacho on the left hand side. That's creating. I just don't get what Eric Ten Hag is trying to do. I don't know if he knows what his first team 11 is, or, obviously he's struggling with the trust of his players, or sometimes I don't even know what style of football he's trying to play. It just confuses me. For me, if I was a manager, if I was a football manager and I knew that a specific formation or a specific style isn't working, then I'd start thinking of ways to try and get the best out of them by doing different formations. It's clear as day that your best player at the moment is Ganacho. So why are you not starting him? You know, Switch to a 4-4-2. That's what Alex Ferguson used to do back in the day. He used to do 4-4-2. He used to do the big man, little man, Dwight York, Adam Cole type combo. So why not utilize something that's in the United DNA? Go against your 4-3-3 style and just work with the 4-4-2. It's like just because Rashford is suited on the left doesn't mean you need to always play him there, because it's clear as day that his form isn't allowing him to do that. And he hasn't been delivering on that left consistently every single game anyway. So switch things up and allow him to play through the middle. It's obvious he wants to be in the middle, because every single game that you're playing him in, he's always there in the middle trying to score. So why not utilize that? And that's the problem that I have with United is there's games that they've played this season which is crying for a two-man up top, and he's not doing it. And I just feel like if he had the balls to change the formation, maybe United could have gone away with a couple results this season. Maybe things would have been different. But I think he's just being so stubborn that it's just causing a real downfall to Manchester United right now. And not to discredit, Crystal Palace, they did fantastically well. It was a fantastic corner with Anderson on the half volley. I thought that was brilliant. You could clearly tell that they did that on the training ground because the execution was immaculate. And Palace did do well, but I just feel like again a team like Manchester United that we always keep going on about, they're when it's at the theatre of dreams, they're always dominant. The pitch is big. They know how to utilize the space, especially with the pace. And I just feel like they're not doing that right now. Um, Something needs to be done. Either the formation needs to change, the tactic on how they play needs to change, because it's evident the owners aren't going anywhere, and it's evident that before the players go and before the owners go, the manager will end up leaving. So I just feel like to save his job, he needs to do something ASAP, because there's only a matter of losses that can happen before they start saying he needs to go. What's your thoughts, Margie?
I think there's a lot of good valid points, but obviously, unfortunately, they're dealing with a lot of injuries. Three left backs out, but what they do have is centre backs. And for me, if I'm Ten Hag, you have to deal what your hand is dealt. And if you don't have a left back, I don't know why you put Amrabat there. For me, I think they should go to the 3-5-2. They have enough centre backs to play that formation. It means that you can play Harry Maguire in the back three because he's more comfortable with that. You could use whoever you like on the width in terms of Rashford and stuff like that, and then have two man up top. Use Palestri, use Garnacho on the width, have the two up top of Rashford and Hoyland, and then the three man midfield of Amrabat, Casemiro, and Bruno Fernandes, and then you could actually have a base of a team that works. Because if you got a position that that you don't have the player with the quality to play that position, and Amrabat's being wasted over there, you might as well just switch up the formation, as you said. But you can't do 4-4-2 at the moment because you have no left backs. So do 3-5-2 and play with the players that you have. You have a bunch of centre backs. Johnny Evans looks okay when he plays. Even if you put him instead of Harry Maguire, have three centre backs, the five midfield, the two up top, and just play a different style until you get your players back. Because the reality for Man United, it's a results based business. You need to win games. You need to get points. You need to be doing stuff. You can't be losing at home. These are the kind of results that are gonna an owner's gonna look at and say, "Oh, you're gone next." The thing and the major thing with Ten Hag is I feel like he's lost some of the dressing room. The fact that Sancho hasn't responded to him or said sorry yet, he looks like he's going. Uh, then you got the Anthony situation. So you're upset with Sancho, but when Anthony gets these allegations, oh, he can come back in the team easy as he like. Is that what Man United are on? Then you got the Greenwood situation. It's like then you have players that are in your squad that you don't want to use because you wanted to get rid of them. Maguire was going to be sold, but you keep him anyway. You give Johnny Evans a contract, even though he should be at the post office with Sally and them, man. It's like the reality is for Man United and for Ten Hag is that he has to do with what he has, and he needs to change up the formation and change up the way they're playing because this 4-2-3-1 isn't going to work for them. they need to be focused. If you're gonna bring in a Hoyland type striker, the focus needs to be to create for him. They have no creativity on the wings. They don't really have anything outside that can create chances for him. And you could see it during the game. They were just very lackluster. They kept a lot of the ball, but they didn't really have any penetration. And overall, I think Palace were decent for the win. It was a smash and grab job. I mean, that kind of shot from Anderson is once in a million. He's probably never gonna ever do that again in his life. So, you know, Roy Hudson, the owl man, um, he just got one over on Ten Hag, and you just got to move on. But yeah, the left back Amrabat doesn't make sense to me. As I go to three at the back, use your centre backs, use the players that you currently have until you get your players back, because you keep losing, you keep getting bad results. The fans are going to be impatient. The players are looking like they're already waning on your ideas and stuff like that. And you were brought in 18 months ago to be playing this Ajax football. I haven't seen it since. I haven't seen it in the 18 months. So I don't know what your style is. I don't know what you're trying to do. I don't know what your identity is. I can't tell what style of football you're trying to do. And for me, that's the biggest issue. I think Man United out of the bigger clubs is the only one that I can see that just has no clue. Even with Ange and Tottenham, you see what they're trying to do. You see what Chelsea are trying to do with Pochettino. You see what other teams are trying to do. But United, it's going to be a long season. It's going to be a long season. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm not shedding no tears for that club. They deserve everything they get. Yeah, that's right. Fergie time no more. We up.
It's so true, man. But you know what? Let's end on some positivity. Let's end on some good stuff. Let's talk about your boys. Obviously, I'm going to say my P's and Q's after, but the floor is yours, Marju. You've had to wear a mask. You had to hide away. You was ashamed. You were starting to say Poch out, but it's Poch in now. You got your wins. You got your goals. What are you saying?
I'm gonna clarify. I was never potch out. I was potched out because he was messing up.
You're a fool.
I had to wear this, and it ain't even tight. It looked baggy on me, but yeah, I don't have to wear it no more. Back to back wins, baby. First of all, the win against Brighton in the Carabao Cup. I know we're not talking about Carabao Cup, but hold that, Brighton. Your fans been talking all that was. But guess what? Guess what? We got 3 clean sheets. You don't. You're out here getting spanked, getting by Aston Villa. Yeah, keep talking our names and see what happens when we buck you again. Anyway, that's right. We shout on the seagulls out of the cup. What are you doing this season? Nothing. Yeah, losing Europa League as well. Competition that we win every time we get in it. We win. Losers. Anyway, moving on to the game. People talking about who runs London. Well, we just took back West. We came, we said Fulham, hold that. Yeah, 2 goals in 2 minutes. Light work. And it was a little frustrating game in terms of it was similar issues in certain parts in regards to taking chances, but I'm thankful that when our big money signing Mudryk scored, it wasn't no hand me downs, it wasn't no charity, no Oxfam. It was a pure goal. And great assist by Levi Colwell, great touch by Mudryk, lovely finish for the first. Then the second, Fulham went sleeping. They thought it was over. We said, bow, bow, back again. Cole Palmer into Broha. He gets his goal. Nice little confidence boost for him. After all that time out with an ACL, I'm happy for him. When a player comes back after an injury like that, gone for a whole year and a bit, and he scores, it's a good feeling. And those 2 guys are going to get confidence from that. But in terms of the game, I'm not going to gas it up too much. We took back West London. We did what we needed to do. We needed that win, and I think we just need to build on it. We got Burnley next, and then Arsenal after that. And for me, we need to win the next two games. We need to keep on winning, and that's what we got to do. We need to start collecting these points. We're already behind when it comes to the to getting top five because of the shambles of our early game performances. But we've got a difficult run after Burnley, and it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough one. And Pochettino is slowly and surely gonna get some players back. Ben Chilwell's out as well for another 2 months, so that's another player gone. 12 on the injury list. But the one thing I would say I was happy about is that we played like that, even though we had Cucurella at right back, even though we had our second striker in Broha, even though we had. And the one thing the tweak that was made that I was happy to see, Gallagher was in the cam, Enzo was with Casado, and you saw the difference that one change made. We dominated the midfield because Enzo and Casado together is lightning in a bottle. Galadog can do what he wants, he's like a dog. Go for the ball. That's all he has to do in that 10. He don't need to create nothing because Cole Palmer can create. He doesn't need to beat a man because Mudrik can beat a man. All he has to do is go get that ball. Go Galadoggy, get the ball. Go Galadoggy, get the ball. That's all he has to do the whole game. That's all he needs to do. And he did that well. He's our captain. But yeah, that's all he had to do that game. And yeah, man, another good performance. Sanchez is looking like a decent keeper, is making decent saves when needed. He's doing things that Keppel wasn't. He's making saves when needed. He's grabbing the ball when it comes to crosses. So, he's got that height, he's got that reach, and he's getting his confidence back. We've got 3 clean sheets this season, which is probably more than the whole of last season because we were conceding goals like crazy towards the end. So we're getting clean sheets. We're defensively solid. We just need to score more goals. And I think we're the only team in the Premier League in terms of XG to beat every team we faced so far. So the underlying metrics of our games is that we should be winning. But we just have to take our chances like we did and be clinical. So yeah, not much else I can say. Good win. Don't have to wear a mask no more. And yeah, man, just you know what? It was very calm to go for a weekend not worrying about my team. You know, we got that late Monday night fixture, and I think it worked better that way. I got to see the controversy of the Liverpool game. I got to see Arsenal do Make a Wish Foundation, John Cena style. I got to see City lose, shock horror. I got to see Brighton get spanked. That was fun on TV. Should have been on P Hub, but because man got hit for 7. But yeah, it was a good weekend. A nice way to finish off the Monday. When you got a hard day of work, come home and your team wins. It's always a good feeling. But yeah, I just want us to continue the way we're doing, and Pochettino just needs to not revert to those silly mistakes. And the fact is, he won't do because Chilwell's out for a couple months, so no Chilwell left wing. The only thing I would say is Colwell left back. I'm a bit apprehensive with that because I still think I still believe he's better at left centre back, but he's looking good over there. So maybe it works out. Maybe Poch knows something I don't because he's a professional coach and he's seen something with Colwell at left back. I don't know. Maybe this is a 10 moves in the head kind of thing, and I'm moving silly. But we'll see. We'll see, man. Good win, and yeah, that's all I got to say. And yeah, man, we took back West London. Um, yeah, Brentford can't talk anyway. They're little man, and yeah, North London's is next. So Ange Paul's gonna fill the pot Shraf and Lego Head as well. We're coming for you. So soon,
Yeah,
up and coming games.
I think for me it wasn't a coincidence that the reason why you guys won that game was because of the formation switch, was because you moved to a 4 at the back, was because you allowed yourself to have that 2-man pivot, with obviously having a cam in behind Broha was because you had Broha, who's experienced the Prem last season and knows the Prem, understands the physicality, knows where to put himself about. It's just small tweaks like that was the reason why you won that game. And I just think for me, you know, Thiago Silva looked better in a two-man defense. He did. Having Levi Kowa at left back, okay, yeah, it doesn't make sense from an attacking point of view because there are deficiencies there. But I think having him there for a defensive point of view probably makes sense because, again, from a defensive point of view, you got a solid person at left back there that can drift into a centre back and potentially play a free at the back when on the attack. Or the fact that he is at left back allows Modric to have that whole left hand side by himself. Um, and you saw that. You saw the license that Modric had. He didn't have to go back all the time because Levi Colwell had that left side covered, and it allowed Modric to beat his player. And he was a real live wire in that game, man. I'm loving the confidence that he's getting game by game. I'm loving the threat that he's posing on that left hand side. And it's about damn time you guys are getting your money's worth from him because last season was obviously shocking. Maybe again, new league. He didn't have preseason under his belt. Maybe that was probably the reason why. But I just feel now we're getting the best, or we're seeing the best in Modric. And this is the last couple games that he started and played. He's been dangerous on that left hand side, and a goal was coming in that game. Everything that he touched turned to gold. The ideas and the creativity in terms of the skill set that he was trying to do to beat that right back. You saw every time when Modric had that ball, he was always thinking of, okay, what skill can I do to beat this man? Drop the shoulder, doing step overs, trying to do quick touches, but then kick the ball out to see if he can beat him with by pace as well. You saw what he was trying to do, and I liked it. I'm an old school guy, man. I like wingers that are trying to beat their players 1v1. Like, they're not shy and passing the ball and like just trying to drift into space. They're looking to see what they can do to try and beat their player. And as I said, you saw that in Modric, and it was quality. The link up play between him and Broha was there, and I'm happy for Broha. Again, like as Margie said, it's difficult when players go out injured. Van Dijk was another one. Joe Gomez is another one. Crucial ligament injuries, been out for nearly a year to come back and you're not performing. It's sad because you realize that those sorts of injuries just takes at least 5 years off of a player's legs, you know and it's just good to see that someone like him has stepped in. He was dependable. Jackson, as I said, either persist with him or allow someone to step in, and Jackson needs to learn from that individual. I said this a couple weeks ago, and if Broha can be that guy that can lead the line, he's fully capable of doing it. As I said, he's done it before in the Prem. Then Jackson needs to look at this and he needs to learn from that. Maybe Jackson might be better to come off the bench and cause a threat that way until when he's ready to actually lead the line. But I think everything just made sense in that Chelsea performance. As I said, there was no coincidence that you guys started to play even better with the formation change. You still got the issues of not finishing your dinner. But again, that's a good problem to have. If it was me, I'd rather have a good problem in not being able to finish, because at least you can, when you do score that first goal, you can go on a run, as opposed to having a shit defense and trying to build that defense back up. That's a lot more harder to do. Whereas you guys are creating endless of chances in that game, endless of chances where you guys should have finished, especially with Raheem Sterling. But you guys were able to get those two goals very quick, very early, and then in the second half, you can choose just to sit back and just do what you do and just protect your lead. So yeah, fantastic game from you guys. Again, should be an easy game for you against Burnley. Obviously, Burnley should be able to play in your hands in the sense of playing open, expansive football. That should work to your advantage. The the true test will be against Arsenal. But personally, I don't think that's a test at all. I think you guys should be able to blitz them easy, especially when they don't have no midfield. I think your midfield should be able to overpower them. So, this should be a good turning point for Chelsea. I think, as I said already in the start of the intro, the rest of the teams are dead in this league. So for me, the only way that you should be winning games is via your midfield. You've got a solid midfield. And if Pochettino can persist with this formation, there's no reason why you can't climb up the table. So yeah, man, it's good result, good 2-0 win, good confidence builder for certain individuals. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. Nice professional win. And on to the next one. Obviously, this weekend. Liverpool have got Brighton, I believe. So I expect Liverpool to take their anger out on Brighton and go out and win that game. Nothing but wins, nothing but dubs is all I expect now. Us against the referees, that's fine. Bring it on. We're normally the Cinderella type club anyway. We're normally the underdog club. It's always been our mantle. Champions League, Premier League. That's all we know. That's all we know to be underdogs. So yeah, win that game over the weekend and go from there. But yeah, that's me signing out. Been a great pod as always. I stand by what I said about those refs. You guys can all suck a dick and yeah, strip those refs of their license. Strip them because just nothing but bias with those refs. Fuck all of them. And Gary Neville should be ashamed of yourself, coward.
Before we go, I do want to present something. Can you see this?
Oh, rah.
The full
Yeah, yeah.
transcript is out. Now this is what happened. All right, so here are the officials: referee Simon Hooper, Adrian Holmes, Simon Long, Michael Oliver, Darren England, Dan Cook. Assistant referee one, waiting, delaying. Possible offside Diaz. Coming back from offside, mate. Just checking the offside, delay. Give the kick, let's go. Kick point, please. Yeah, no worries. So here we are. Wait. They put the 2D line. Obviously, it was onside. Perfect, yeah. 2D line on the left boot. Switch angles. Rivera, I think it is. This. Yep, 2D line on the boot. Aha, thank you, mate. Well done. Good process. Wait. The on-field decision was offside. Are you happy with this? Yeah. Are you happy with this? Offside goal? Yeah, that's wrong, man. What? On-field decision was offside. Are you happy with this? What is this kind of communication? The left back, expletive, delay. Ollie saying delay the game. Pardon. Wait, they're still not delaying the game. Game's playing on at this point. And then what does Dalla in England do? They restarted the game. Can't do anything. Yeah, they restarted it. Can't do anything. No. Can't do anything. We know who the problem was. Darren England, we're looking for you. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Looking for you,
Mad.
Darren England.
Mad.
That's the whole script. This is they did not say once to the referees that it was onside or anything. The man were just talking was. And this is what the VAR guys are doing. Talking was. Anyway, with that being said, another great episode. Ban VAR, ban the referees, send them to Ukraine, to the war, and bring us the foreigners. That's right. They took our jobs, and they need to take their jobs too. Let's go. Anyway. But remember, this is foosball. This and yeah. And Arsenal. Hold that. Your make-a-wish kid.